Hey everyone, it is the Angry Honey Badger here, and it is time for Badger's picks for the week of February 10th. We're going to see who's free this week and what 4 champions I'm going to recommend. Free this week, we're going to get Gangplank, Heimerdinger, Jarvan the Fourth, Kale, Kennen, Lulu, Malzahar, Misfortune, Sivir, and Zyra. And as for my first recommendation from the bunch, I'm going to throw it over to who I personally think is the strongest jungler currently in the meta right now. I'm gonna throw it over to Jarvan. So right now, I think he's very, very close to the top. Obviously, you could argue this just depending on your playstyle, and there's a handful of pretty good ones, but up there at the top, he's definitely one of them. Whether or not you're gonna play him in the jungle is something else, but I think he's personally best there right now. He has good ganks before 6, and then at 6, you know, he does do quite well there too. Also, he does combo very well with Gnar. We've seen the Narvin combo. We've talked about that in the LCS Weekly when we go over meta shifts over in there. So Jarvan's just right now all around pretty good pick. Kind of does a lot of things, brings some damage, then can kind of tank out. So if you're looking for someone in the jungle, you might want to try out Jarvan. My next recommendation for this week, gonna throw that one over to Sivir. We've actually been seeing a ton of her in the LCS. Some people have been wondering why we've been seeing her there. She's what you would call a support ADC. Not really that she's a support character in the sense that she doesn't build damage and doesn't really do too much there. It's in the sense that her ultimate is supporting the whole team, allowing them to either engage or disengage. And that can be really strong right now because the current champions that everybody's kind of playing either do pretty well with engage to get to the high priority targets or disengage. So she fits that role really well. She's also pretty good at pushing in some cases, and she's got decent wave clear because of this. I've talked about it in a recent build for her, so she's pretty good right now in those aspects. Obviously not the most damage dealing when it comes to late game, but she helps the rest of the team get into place to do damage. So if you're looking for someone like that, you might want to try out Sivir. My next champion that I'm going to recommend for this week, I'm going to throw that one to Kale. Now, I did just update and make a new Kale build just a few days ago. I like where Kale's currently at, once again, in the jungles where I currently like her. She's still good in lane. She actually really out-counters the crap out of Zed. A lot of people don't seem to play it too often into that, but it is ridiculous because anytime he comes in to all-in you, you have your ultimate to negate his dot and a lot of damage. So she wins that trade pretty well because she's got the range advantage too. So if you're looking to play anybody in mid like that over Zed, you might want to try out Kale, or even in the jungle, it works out well. And as for my final recommendation for this week, I'm going to throw that one over to Malzahar. Now, Malzahar is a little one-dimensional in my opinion, but I still think he's fun, oddly, because of it. One thing I really like to do with Malzahar is just farm up pretty hard in mid lane, try to get ahead that way by picking off a few kills in mid too, and then just shoving down mid lane and getting as many towers as you can early. He does really well in the 1v1, obviously, because he locks someone down single-handedly. It just works out really well. Another thing I do also like about him too, as much as he has a single target damage, the dot late game can do a lot and jump from person to person. The other thing that is good too is that his big circle pool does that percentage damage. If a team stands on that in a team fight, they just get destroyed. So he's got a few things I do like in his kit, and he's decently fun to play. So if you're looking for a mid laner, try out Malz. Those are the 4 champions I'm going to recommend for this week. The rest of the week looks really good too. One of my favorite champions is in it with Zyra. A lot of other good champions too in here. For sure, try out any of them. Let me know what 4 champions you might play this week. If you're going to play any of them from this list, let me know down below in the comments. If there is a box around any of these pictures right now, that means there is a build and guide for them. A couple new ones in here too. That I've updated recently, actually about 3 or 4 new ones in here actually. So yeah, go ahead and check those out, and other than that, good luck on the fields of justice.